Yo! Yo!
Listen up.
Yo!
It's the story. That's not right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Closes the game, opens something else.
Loses my save. Corrupts everything. Hi.
No.
Hi, everybody.
Never finished the game.
How are you all?
Oh,
Oh, my
thank
goodness.
you.
Thank
God,
you.
Gomez.
Gomez, thank you very much. We appreciate Oh, my
He's
God.
gifted, like, how many
We're-
did
we're
you
getting
just
5
get?
of them.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh, I
5,
see.
5,
Oh, I see.
No,
Oh.
5.
My goodness. Let's count these.
The gay tarantula.
Shadowrun.
Yay, that's good. Tarantula, that's bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nice cat.
6. 6 of them. Thank you so much,
Well-
Gomez. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Isn't the first one
Thank
just
you.
saying that we got 5?
Yeah, no, I think it's 5.
That makes sense.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Remind me to send you that new gift sub. Oh, that sounds nice. Thank you, Clue. All right, everybody, welcome back. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, we discovered that Inspector Gregson,
Gregson?
Gregson and Graydon's names being so close to each
Yeah,
other
that's
really messed me up. But we discovered that he did a bad. He tried to get
Yeah.
he tried to get Graydon off the hook and Gina in prison so that he could protect government secrets. And while I kind of understand, bad job, very bad, no good,
What
terrible,
has the government ever done for us?
so bad. No, thank you. But
Got
guys,
a studying in Britain.
what? Unless some crazy nonsense happens, this might be the end of this game. It might be.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Specifically adventures.
Yeah, it was specifically of the
Yeah.
first
Of
game.
adventures, not there are 2 games in this pack.
Exactly. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself?
Ugh.
There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Oh, thank you, Greenhouse. It's a very nice recap. Namely this. You were the 3rd intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windabank.
Ugh. You.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Traitor.
Oh. Hey, that's not okay.
Get back here.
Oh no! Oh!
Wow.
Huh.
Potato.
Oh my god.
Nut crack his larynx?
Marfolith, restrain this man! At once!
Shit, we should have gotten that in the last one. Oops.
That's a good
start for
opener,
this.
woke
What's a
me
good
up.
start?
That's it then. It's all over.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Sure.
stream.
It's all over. These ellipses indicate that, right?
Yeah.
I despise my life growing up. Those slums were vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole.
And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination.
Yeah, but he sucks. But then you decided to try and sell government secrets. Why?
Money. Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day, I met him.
I don't think you deserve this
Love?
heartfelt, emotional song.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. You thought you had no more new lines, did you?
Every time I have to remember how the hell does this man talk. Okay. Let me guess. One line, too, isn't it?
Maybe.
Mr. Man. You're a fan of the square talent, Joshua. I have money to throw away if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with my little plan now.
I was to steal the Ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilden would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the Ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offering. How easy it is to succumb.
But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you're committing.
And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child.
Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He had once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again, to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier.
Was
One.
this guy ever casted?
Nope. Wander, you want him?
No.
Really?
Sure.
Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh?
He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him. Never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've come to work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made.
Music box disc, eh?
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I bought the score with me. There are two, actually.
I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft.
That's how I had to make him make the two discs,
What a nice man.
thereby splitting the information in two. You were taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with Mr. McGilden in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with Mr. McGilden for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas.
So, what happened on the Omnibus 2 months ago was the second part of the deal? The exchange of the second disc?
Yes. I sold the man the information that way a number of times already. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was it the omnibus was 2 months ago? Your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilden and not yourself?
When I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilden, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me,
Next time there's an exchange, you let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore.
that was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilden. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the disc I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of monster McGilden really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge.
Revenge?
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine. McGilden brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in this trial.
Ugh.
This crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish.
My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all.
I made plenty of money out of the dealings with McGilden by then. So I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. McGilden himself had shown me that.
Are you saying that...
I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything in his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that was deserved!
Oh,
Oh, it was you.
wow.
That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly.
McGilden's death that day was caused by this man. Huh.
Everything is ready, sir. If you would like to follow me to the courtroom. What's this, officer? Just sooner than I was led to believe.
Is that?
I hope it's not any inconvenience, sir. There were some changes in the schedule. Well, I must be making tracks now. Just time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I am told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
So that policeman who came to tell McGilden he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right. An imposter hired by me. McGilden used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manners of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was downed in the paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilden inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death.
A spine-chilling account indeed.
But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see.
Loose end.
Yes. I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken into exchange with McGilden.
Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with Mr. McGilden. This is the first of the 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them.
Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 Guinness for you, young man.
What's this? Windybank's pawnbrokery.
Aye, just a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem an article deposited there for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket, and then tell the fiend the watchword. I put a jewel in pawn for you, and if it's a good 10 Guinness if you sell it so well.
I've never heard of a pawnbroker being used in quite that way before.
Have you not, Mr. Green? London pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Each one is an extremely secure vault.
He had a clever little racket going.
Can't deny that fact. So I knew that if he'd taken the steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And on that night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone.
Yes, to Gina. I remember now that when we first met you at Windybanks that afternoon 2 days ago, you had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for?
From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilda's pawns. That he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket. So I started to make the inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline.
And he was absolutely right.
And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was to wait until the girl went to Windybanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilda's overcoat and the one disc that was in his pockets. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing. Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, as our investigations into the stolen government secrets was progressing, we picked up on the fact that McGilda was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered fast.
Hey, I'm alright. Orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible. So we started covering in the fella's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Then, when the inspections here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc were still there in this shop somewhere. So I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did.
So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers.
What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I'd located the music box I'd sold to McGilda on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes. I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened.
Oh, that's Windybank.
Oh, what are you doing in my shop? Bang!
No hesitation. A gunshot rang up out of the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night. Just in case.
I assumed that there was a bang sound, yeah.
Before I knew what was happening, I fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge.
A sorry, sorry tale.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo ever even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windybanks on that wretched night.
Inspector, not now!
Tasty.
Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. A man who uses wealth and influence to distort the fact and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have.
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what's of Mr. Ashley Graydon?
He's been restrained, my lord, and has been escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Windybank and the stealing of government secrets.
Very good. And you, Inspector. Regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself.
Yes, my lord. Of course.
It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime's a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
Now to the defendant, Miss
Gina.
Gina Lestrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, sir. Goldem Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. Men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yay!
Headbutt.
But you all sure were easily convinced otherwise.
That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Runo, you managed to
Okay,
do
good.
it.
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there.
She was right. Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world.
Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with you yet.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider. Hmm?
Huh?
2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, didn't you? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Windibank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with McGilda's property, it seems.
I've never done nothing of the sort.
Gina, please. Of course not. No, it's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilden's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Aw, and just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Gina this evening.
Now, part of this, she was threatened at knife point. I feel like part of this she should get off on.
And turning our attention to the defense, determining that when played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was, well, it was certainly most unexpected revelation, Counsel.
Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast. To demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom.
Very sorry about that. It was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit to what he'd done, so... Gregson?
If I may say something on that point,
I think that's...
or
Isn't that...
oh,
Oh.
it's she. Never
If
mind.
I may say something on that point, it's, about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that really was Morse code at all.
What are you saying, madam?
Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see.
You noticed.
So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, madam, an unhealthy level of obsession one feels.
You should get a better hobby, I think.
Might I suggest?
But I must say that in my opinion, the sounds produced by those 2 discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of 2 different tones.
That's definitely a typo. That's
Or
definitely
is
a
he British?
Is it
no,
British or
it's
typo?
it's supposed to be series.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Siri. Well, it's fine.
So
What?
was he bluffing
What?
the whole time?
Can that really be? It wasn't Morse code after all? You think that McGilded was just gonna take him at his word? My slap. My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Well, if you're not, how many times do I have to tell you those discs contain a ministerial secret, sunshine?
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of government communications. We know McGilden conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies. Secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we had no need to pursue the matter further.
But it's really going to bother me. Oh?
Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, my lord?
That which you have seen today here in the courtroom has been extremely disturbing.
Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalog of depravity.
An appalling experience to befall any child.
Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days back in the slums.
I beg your pardon?
If you're weak, If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes.
Gina.
But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are yourself.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I should say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Wendybank, proprietor of the pawnbroker, business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant Miss Gina Lestrade.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Not guilty.
Yeah!
Let's go! Confetti flies! Fireworks!
Achoo! Oh god, that's a fire hazard! Ah! Oh!
Ah, Gina, no!
Achoo!
We're still inside, Gina. What are you thinking?
She had a real explosive that time.
Probably safe.
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Yeah!
Oh, but we hung out.
They're just staring at each other.
Menacingly.
On a personal note, I must say you surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman. And at the same time, saw through to the grime to the surprising heart of your English clients. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures.
I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside.
You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom.
You did?
When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the man that I once knew, and try to understand.
You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly?
Well, you may ask. And one day, when the sequel comes out, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not.
I bought them as a pack, but thank you. Alright, then I'll
I've been waiting for years!
Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must.
Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from service 5 years ago. It gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow. Until we meet again.
Alright. See you then. It is April!
April!
It's done. It's over at last. But where's Zyrus disappeared to? Hey. Ah! Congratulations, Gina! I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent.
Well, you did what you said, Mr. Nada-Odo. You believed in me right up to the end. You're as odd as your name.
What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I?
No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean. Properly.
That's awful.
Figure something out today. All me life, growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. But that's just 'cause I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know, though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently, too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson.
Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fad a lot of sense to me, though.
I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure.
Oh, for crying out loud, pack it in! But, I suppose, I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright.
Thanks. Oh, Cosmo.
It's been a while.
Oh, this is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself.
After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Cosmo, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be?
Yes.
Well, Iris?
Doubt it.
Pardon the interruption. Oh, damn it!
But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow?
The other Bailey, if you looked
Yeah, but it
around.
makes sense that he would be doing that voice.
Yeah.
That voice.
It's Jones.
It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruto. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity.
The other bailiff is just like, but
Huh?
we've just, how long have we been standing here?
Buddy? What happened to you?
Yes, it was me all along. I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people, with your insistent babbling.
Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, it was me all along, you see?
Okay, he's back. I'd assumed you've been taken back to the hospital, to be honest.
Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again.
Oh,
Yes. I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of
Okay.
the doctor who had been tending to me.
foibles.
Foibles.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's a word.
I merely made knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence.
How very above board.
Was that the surgeon that had like dropped his scalpel in
I
him?
guess so, yeah.
It might have been.
But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Miss Naruto. Your tireless efforts justified, or justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you.
Oh, thank you.
Some great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe.
Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade?
Well, you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed. Some of us have been fighting for our lives.
He was injured badly.
What do you think happens to the body when you get shot? Well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So, I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, have a feel.
Ooh, wow, have you been working out? Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Jones?
And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade.
What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted?
Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but... an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious.
Well done, Mr. Sholmes. Not alarming in the slightest.
Oh, the Reaper, you mean?
Yeah, but did anything happen to Soseki Natsume? After, I mean, nobody knows. We haven't seen
He
him.
fled the country right away. didn't he?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Because anyone who's found not guilty in a trial he was working on ends up dead anyway. Is that it?
The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself, even though I brought it up.
Yeah, well, it don't bother me.
Oh, really?
Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs.
Him upstairs? You mean like God?
Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There are some coves like that bog trotter would have rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it, and extremely optimistic. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another.
Well, I ain't like the McGildeds of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see?
A trait in which you must be admired, Miss Lestrade.
Oi, just give it a rest, alright?
As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina.
Well,
There you are, Hurley! How long you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance, especially to meet you there.
Herlock falling over like that is never gonna get old.
No.
he's like a Muppet.
Iris, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves.
Us?
What happened?
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a buffalee. And then these stones didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can't you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighted presence you seem to think you have.
Oh.
In fact, you really ought to be more careful about that. It's going to land you troublesome one day.
Foreshadowing.
Aw.
Careful.
Ouch.
Anyway, it's such a shame. I was hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you?
Don't look like I'm gonna be going nowhere for a while. You were the judge's patter. I've got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog trotter's stuff, what was in log, blah blah blah.
Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense.
But diving ain't an offense. It's a job, isn't it?
I don't think so. No, no.
Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work.
Mm.
I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Odo?
Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket.
Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm gonna do something for all them. I'm gonna do something for all them lot like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference for them.
That's a wonderful idea, Ginny. And I'm sure you can do it. What is it?
Nothing.
So many don't knows.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
The prison carriage has arrived, madam. Please come with me to the red gate at once.
Right. Well, looks like I'm off then.
Yes. Goodbye, Gina, and good luck.
Odo.
Yes, I have a new nickname. Hey, 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 oh, oh. Somebody stop her. Hey. Ah! What was that for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so.
I should get to shoot you.
Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Mr. Strahd.
It's not like I'm grateful or anything, Baka.
On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you.
Oh.
Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny.
Right, I see. Well. Thanks, Odo.
Aww.
Thank you for everything, what you've done. For believing in me.
Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. That was cute.
It was.
Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again.
Well, quite the indomitable pick purse.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I brought the paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trails all over the front page.
That was fast.
Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no! How silly of me. Ah, but anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again.
Well, what do you say, Runo? Early?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
The bad news no longer exists.
And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then. Maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently.
I doubt it.
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back into, in greater comfort.
Alright then, what's the bad news?
The huge storm left the sea is very choppy. The channel in particular is awful, so sailing out of the Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Oh, wait. Dover?
That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off.
Yay!
That's good news.
But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky.
Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo?
Mr. Jones?
I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for very special express. If you hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole.
The great detective does it again.
Soleil. Indeed he does! I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles.
What?
I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary!
Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are we waiting for then? To London Victoria!
Reno,
Are you ready for cutscenes?
yeah.
Oh,
Isn't everything
too bad, you
cutscenes?
won't get any.
Isn't it 100% cutscenes? All right, 18th of April.
That took somewhat longer than I anticipated.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Miss Susato, where are you? Over there,
Where?
look! It looks like she's reading something. Hold it! Miss Susato, wait! What are you doing?
It's the manuscript.
Oh,
Definitely
it totally is.
Oh no. Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see.
Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
It went well. She was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
The book you were about to throw into the sea, it was your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it? Oh.
You guys have had the book the entire time.
Yeah, I realized after we got excited, but it's fine.
Oh dear, I was hoping you hadn't seen that.
But yeah, I wasn't being serious. I knew we had it.
I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell.
You were saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san?
Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the people, Miss Susato?
I deliberately altered the scene of a crime. And then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable.
That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie?
On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember.
Hard to forget.
Hmm?
We had a wonderful time.
Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean.
Oh, that was so much fun! It still ruined us our band.
Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages.
On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flap-o-matic, so I put it up my sleeve.
Really?
And then I rather forgot about it, until I found myself in Mr. Winterbank's shop with it later that night.
But it's huge. How did you forget?
That's a great
Big sleeve.
question. I see.
And then
Ah!
ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Jay.
Leave me, Star Hodo, leave me!
Right.
After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind.
The storeroom door, you mean?
Yes. If Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had in my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So you used the cat flapomat to make the peephole in the door.
As captured in the photographic print of the shop, by one of the earliest red-headed recorders.
Indeed. It was of first importance at that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Naruto's greatest weapon. Though naturally without proof, it would not have amounted to nothing.
But when I looked through the hole in that door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Magnus McGilded.
I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Winterbank. Even though I was sure she would never do such a thing.
You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime?
That's right. Then I realized. It would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door.
Ah,
For which a peephole will be the very thing.
Only, the people I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference.
But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not?
a trap? Is that why she did it?
So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made it to people to anyone, not even the police.
I know. And I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner, with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the people would save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began?
My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade.
Oh.
You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. So Mr. Zato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake and Miss Lestrade's.
Miss Susato.
The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Susato, what you did saved Gina's life.
Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me too from my regrets.
Aw.
Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured.
Yes, exactly. Although, some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on in my mind, I'm sure.
But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo! What a triumph to work that out! I'm full of admiration.
Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator, and she said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones.
As one would expect. After all, we are talking about a secret government communications. No doubt they were written in a cipher to afford being readily understood should they be intercepted.
Okay, fair enough.
In cipher, I see. So then, we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway.
Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you.
So, get, Asogi. Wait, Kazuma Asogi? What?
Well, that can't be a real world, can it? Word, can it? How funny.
Wait! Iris, what did you just say?
Oh.
I just said Asogi.
Oh, that was on the disc?
It was
Does-
Japanese, that's why she didn't understand it.
Oh.
Does that word mean anything to you?
Means something. Asogi
Name something, that's my husband.
was the name of my husband.
What?
But how? How do you know that name, Iris?
I wrote it down during the trial before, when the message was playing on the music box.
She transcribed it on the fly? She really is a genius.
I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whenever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least.
Oh,
It suddenly occurred to me, you see. There's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it with their own languages.
I don't believe it. Are you saying...
That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on the Iroha pentagram, isn't it?
Iroha.
And you...
Close enough.
And you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says Asogi?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code.
Iris, would you let me see that?
Mr. Zato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Yes, I spent some time studying it. because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications.
You're adorable.
Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version?
Shut up, colonizer.
Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please.
Of course.
But what can this possibly mean?
Whatever is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications.
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names.
The first is Kei Asogi.
Kazuma Asogi. Why? Why was his name on that disc?
The second is A Shin.
Shin. I don't recognize that name.
The third is T Guragusan.
Gregson.
Gregson?
Ah, you have seen that Tobias Gregson is the 3rd man on the disc.
And what's his name doing in a secret government communication as well?
And the last name,
What's the matter, Miss Susato?
Is it us?
it's just so strange. So unexpected.
Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense.
The last name is Jay Wilson.
Oh.
What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy?
Is this a hit list?
Yeah, I was thinking that. That was what I was thinking.
It says only Jay Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. And then, after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message. Or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris.
I just can't believe it. Who would have ever thought that those discs contained Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names.
Should we
It would
tell
appear.
Gregson?
Maybe?
I think maybe, yeah, I would.
It would appear this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So, Daddy could be in Japan then. Where Susie and Reno come from?
Oh! Well,
Come on, guys, we gotta tell her.
No. It's not very likely, is it?
Nah.
I mean, there are thousands of people with the Sheridan Wilson, and there must be a lot of Jays among them.
Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. But we can't tell Iris about that now, we just can't. This is so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Windibank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave we shouldn't go wandering inside.
Honk!
I was waiting for it.
Oh, dear. The ship is about to set sail soon.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then, I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan.
You're really going then, Susie?
We wish you safe passage, Mr. Zato.
Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best.
Miss Susato, I had hoped to have you always at my side to guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world.
I'm quite sure. I'll be back before you know it.
Really, Susie?
Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill.
Promise?
About your manuscript.
Ah,
Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise.
Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. On the SS Buria when I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. Well, it was before that, honestly. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy.
Miss Susato.
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Bye. Oh.
Cutscene.
Cutscene.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Kitty.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will.
Heh.
Oh,
But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Is that it? Is that the video game? Or
You
Nope.
thought so, didn't you?
Yes, Miss Naruhodo.
yes, Mr. Sholmes?
I have some rather awkward news.
Uh-oh.
The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently.
Huh?
It caused such a commotion on the line. All the other trains had to wait at stations.
But really, we would never have made it into Dover and other towns otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all go.
Are you kidding me?
I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato,
You love defending yourself in court.
Huh?
It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. You really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See?
Mr. Sholmes?
yes?
a word, if you don't mind.
Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bear it out, my dear fellow.
Oh yes, I love Reno's words. And I just know just the one he'll use here.
Then I really must say... Objection!
Yeah! Are you ready for speed reading?
Oh yeah, here we go. Whoa. Yeah! Ooh,
But you know, the main characters can't speed read, so we got this.
fancy.
Shoot Takumi!
In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot. Though it transpired, I had ordered something, so I advised them to for sale with using Mr. Shome to something, and then the money I earned, it was so good. The difference in the pay and the yes.
Okay, giving up. Giving up then.
So
Ad-libbing is
he
not-
now is a buyer and seller of music boxes.
Yeah, it was all described by him himself, like every
Oh.
single one of them.
I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me a breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and some insipid coffee. I do miss Susie's and her lovely Japanese breakfast.
With that good mayo.
Oh.
Dear thought, witness your testimony. It's riddled with contradictions.
Exactly! Rarely do rare Koban quotes under the rare stakes themselves.
It's just me.
Yep,
Well, I knows it knows his father is an innocent man. Why are you calling my son a liar?
Lunar.
Witnesses, my courtroom is no place for petty arguments.
Hey.
Having delivered a Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamer ship for a while. But last night, I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board.
I have done nothing wrong! All I did was give weighing the highs, offspring something, and then bringing the kittens on board, and apparently he's a hardened criminal! It's just not fair!
Kitty.
Okay. He's still alive. That's good.
That's
And
good.
Wagahai is a mother.
Oh.
Good.
Huh.
Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. Like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts meshed together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment.
He's like if the Clock King was a Pokemon villain.
Oh, Latest Ranch magazine is out, and I'm in it again.
Oh.
Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I'll get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it?
Hmm?
Not bad, I suppose. Fair and amateur.
Ooh, he said the thing!
A ladyship puts me to shame.
But... So you kind of basically just got away with it? I don't know how to feel about that.
He's on the hit list.
Came off smelling like roses.
Oh.
Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Tony, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bally stairs over there has done wonders for the Dicky Peg. Managing rather well with the housework, too. Got this maid business taped up our time. Hope the gossiping neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid.
He works at the pawn shop now? That's probably a joke,
And I
right?
look great in the uniform.
That's true. That's probably a joke. I guess that's a joke. Oh!
Ah. My Rolly is back on the beat again. All thanks to the Reaper.
There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting down small change in the gutter. I'm a better Bobby now, looking up for the Londoners. Dropping hay pennies for my loving wife. Oh, Rolly.
Oh, Pat!
Yeah!
Terrible job, everyone.
Wonderful job.
You did it.
The bit.
It's the bit. Looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now.
Hmm.
But Iris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about them cases which Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them.
Did Ark not move his joystick for
Well, there was
half
no
an
need
hour?
to. She the last one? Nope.
No.
Oh, hey.
Yep.
Yes, I renounced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please.
Oh yeah, bruv. That ain't the ash we know.
Ugh.
We got time to plan the comeback of Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, eh? The
The
scream.
three Muskewatsits!
The three Muskewatsits milk in the
Milk in the
neighborhood, blah blah
neighborhood,
blah.
What?
Sulky Skulkin, where are you? Come back to us.
Terrible job, everyone. Keep it up.
This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. Come to realize that's what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well.
Aw. How long did it take to... Oh, never mind. I'll keep that thought in my head. Oh, that's cute. Yeah. That's a great
That's
picture.
a good picture.
I love that. Show him, you dork.
Freaking Sholmes.
Takes about 2 months to travel from England to Japan, and it'll take another 2 months to get back, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really?
You thought credits were done, didn't ya? But now you're ready for credits within credits?
Is it still
Right.
reading? Probably not.
We got a
Probably
credit
just
to
walking.
people who
No.
made the credits.
Nah, it's probably just them walking.
So, I'm gonna guess that the next game will take at least 4 months later then. She'll have to get back.
Probably more than that, maybe.
Yeah, she'll have to get there and come back, but she'll also probably want to spend some time with her father while she's there.
Yeah.
I have legs.
You do?
Congratulations.
Nice legs.
Wow.
Thanks, I work very hard on them. Where are you going?
We get to see everybody's legs. It's weird.
Yeah.
You!
Not my legs.
You! There were so many characters I squinted at. So many squints. I thought you were so many other people. One day we'll catch you.
You'll never take me alive.
Goose, fly
Fine.
away!
Shakes fist. This is nice. Oh yeah, this guy didn't get a final. Yeah, neither of the Russian characters got a final farewell, did they?
Yeah.
The gal either. I don't remember her name. What was her name? Forgotten.
Oh, her.
Utterly forgotten.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's been months.
It
She had a
has.
pet kitty, right?
Yeah, she was the
Yeah.
one with the kitty.
Yeah.
A lot of cats.
Time to be
on-
sad. We're
Oh,
leaving
he's.
someone behind.
Oh no! That's sad. Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Oh, there she is.
Excuse me, miss. What was your name? Quick, I'm going to leave you soon. Goodbye.
Nadia. Nadia? That sounds right.
Something
Is
like
it?
Uh,
Nina.
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 You were close.
Nikolina
Nikolina.
Pavlova. Yeah.
Nina for short.
How did you get the sword? He was behind us just now.
I don't know. It's sad.
I stole it.
From
Crime?
Cosmo? That's sad.
Crime?
Always.
Susanna, do you want to do crime?
Heck yeah!
Gotta catch back up with the text. But I can't move any faster than this.
I want to steal.
Yes, hello. I didn't get my comeuppance in the end, but maybe later.
Maybe in the second game.
Maybe. Or maybe I'll get away with it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, these three. And all the jurors, they didn't get any final bows.
You.
I guess there was a lot more minor characters in this game than usual. Damn it.
Move the
Yeah.
Bastard man.
In fact, some of the jurors never had their name mentioned.
I think the majority of them
So.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just referred to as Juror X.
The exception being the Russian one, the Wonder
And,
Voice.
and Garadeb.
And
But he
Garadeb.
was.
Oh yeah,
you
and
know,
Garadeb
Yeah.
and his wife.
If
Yeah.
they were like part of another trial, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Gregson. Well, Gregson, depending on how things go for you in the next game, I might be able to forgive you. But you did screw up. You sure did.
Oh wait, was that why you squinted all the time?
Yes, exactly right. There was so many incredibly racist women in the jury, and I was like, we're gonna end this case, and then this character is going to approach us, and she's going to have a gun pointing at my head. I was certain. I was
I thought
certain.
you just meant they were going to be the culprit, not that they were her.
No, I thought that they were gonna be Giselle Brett, the woman who got away from us at the beginning of the game.
Oh, I'm sad the cat's not following us.
Oh, that would be nice. Maybe they're coming.
Aw.
Maybe later. These guys.
And pose!
And pose.
Yeah.
Gina, you want to get in the line? You want to get in the line with us?
Follow us.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I
There's
wanna
not
get
too
in
much.
line.
Less.
I want
Oh,
to get in the line.
what?
I'm in the line.
There's not enough
Let
space
me
in the line.
Bonza.
Run
She
away!
didn't get to finish reloading before she went off screen.
Maybe she'll shoot from off screen. Plot thread dropped. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. She'll be back. Giselle Brett will return in the Avengers.
Shakespeare Fop Man will return.
Aww.
Ta-da!
Hey.
Nice.
We did it.
We
That was-
did it.
That was a great game. I enjoyed that.
See,
Yeah.
I was 100% confident we ended the stream this time. See, I had no doubt that we weren't
Mhm.
going to reach the end.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow, we look cool.
Very nice art.
Wow. Neat. So we are going to take a break from Ace Attorney here. We're not going to get direct. The next Ace Attorney game that we play is definitely going to be the sequel to this, so that we can
Yeah,
finish off the. I guess it's not a trilogy. What would you call
Duology.
a duology?
A duo.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, but we'll come back to this screen at the same time. Hey, do I show off the special contents? The No,
Let's wait.
leave it until next time. Okay, that'll be good.
Okay.
We're not gonna get directly into it though. We are probably gonna take a little bit of a break. But we'll be back eventually, so look forward to that. For now though, we got some time. Are we gonna stream something else? What do you think about that, Jay? What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Oh, today.
Yeah.
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 I'm actually
Yeah,
not
you
feeling very
ready?
well. I might need to lay down.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And
It might be a good idea to end early, in fact.
okay, that seems
Maybe,
fair.
yeah.
Well-
all right.
Well, everybody, thank you all very much for coming to hang out with us today. What are we doing tomorrow? Leave the-
Tomorrow is nothing.
That's right. And then following
But on
that,
Friday. What is Friday?
Arceus.
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 And
yeah.
then Saturday, Arceus.
Arceus again. Yeah, you guys are doing it Arceus 2 times this week.
Double
At least that's on the schedule. If Jay's still not feeling fine, we can take a minor break.
We will see. We will hopefully.
But until then, folks, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.